Ain't nothing wrong with IHOP either. I'll eat an IHOP.
I will go to an IHOP if I am high and it's 1 a.m. That is it. That is the only way I'm going to IHOP.
That's the only way to really make those like.
I don't think IHOPs are open at 1 a.m.
Yeah, they are.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Denny's thing. Because it must just be the one in Flagstaff that closes early. Because
It's Flagstaff.
well, that's the thing. There are 2 places that are 24/7 in Flagstaff: Denny's and Jack in the Box. And I, on my first date with my college girlfriend, we closed out the IHOP and went to Denny's.
That's wow.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
Flagstaff.
That's beautiful. I'm shitting a
That's pretty
tear
good.
over here.
Yeah, I know. It's so, and it was great too because every anniversary, IHOP.
Oh man, yeah.
So yeah, I was coasting
What?
on cheap dates for
What?
the rest of forever.
What's the deal? No, it doesn't. You don't even see it.
He does. I do.
Oh my God.
And you know who else sees it?
The people at home. Not these guys. These guys.
Oh, okay.
Wait, these guys?
Yeah, these guys, but
No,
not
those
these
guys suck.
Yeah, those guys. Oh
I
my
mean, you're not wrong. Hi everybody.
Hey, folks.
It's Anime FMK. We fucking kill things that are anime. Sometimes we marry them, but today we're talking about a movie. We don't marry movies. That's illegal in this state for
It
now.
is. Mm-hmm.
But you do know who marries movies?
Who does?
Mary. From Mary and the Witch's Flower.
I was hoping we could like postpone addressing the topic like a bit more, a few more minutes.
Well, you know what we seldom do that we should get in the habit of doing every time? Kieran, what's your name? Scott, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Scott Okaizuneko.
Hi, I'm Frank. Frank the movie man. That's
Thanks,
me.
Frank. Frank, what do we got on deck today?
Today we're going to be talking about Hermione and the Witch's Delivery Service in the Sky.
All right, yeah.
It's a movie by Zombie Ghibli. A bunch of dead Ghibli people were brought back through necromancy. They
2014 was a dark year.
Yes, they shamble the earth, making beautifully animated movies with lots of keyframes and what else and Sakuga.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, Hayao Miyazaki movies are nothing but Sakuga.
Yes. Many of them have soundtracks.
Music.
Did I say Hayao Miyazaki? Ghibli films. Although, yeah.
People tell me there's a difference, and I don't believe them.
Well, I mean, there's...
I don't believe.
Yeah, there's the good ones.
I don't believe
And then
that
there's the not good ones.
I don't believe that he's a man. I think.
No.
Yeah, he was created by the Walt Disney Corporation.
Well, I think he transferred his brain when he died.
Right. He's floating in a jar next to Walt Disney's head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So is he like the whole body in the jar? Is his whole body the size of Walt Disney's head?
No, we'll get into this next time. But
Okay.
his parents, in the next video, his parents put him in a salt bath, right?
Oh,
and
that's when they shrunk him?
Yeah, they shrunk
okay.
him, and so he's still got his whole body, but it's just kind of dangling
Yeah,
off
just
the
like,
bottom
like-
of his
yeah,
head.
he's like a little tadpole. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I
but-
can dig that.
But yeah, his head is in the jar next to Walt Disney's. They've got some wires going back and forth, and they're awaiting the third to complete their Sea Hag
yeah,
coven.
Ooh, yeah.
And then they'll be able to do communal spell casting, and that's when the shit gets real.
I just want to know, how does Hayao Miyazaki feel about the Jews?
I mean, that's why they need, like right now they're in eternal conflict over the Jews. They need a third to balance them out so that they can project their psionic energies outward instead of towards each other.
Okay, so that's where Spielberg's gonna go.
Yes, exactly. As soon
That
yeah.
makes sense, Spielberg.
as yeah, we're all living on borrowed time because as soon as Spielberg kicks it,
then that movie making machine is done.
yep, that's why Disney has been busily acquiring everything so that they can be the one true hive mind.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once they've got Spielberg, there's no stopping them.
So Ready Player One is really just a forecast of the future.
Right. That was written 10,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, by the great prophet Ezekles.
He was a smart dude.
Yeah. Yeah. His followers called him Easy E.
Oh, Easy E.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Hey, he lived on to become. He is immortal, of course. He became the famous rapper Ice Cube. Ice Cube.
I tried. Damn it.
I win.
God damn it.
1-0. Guys, So here's our problem today.
Yeah, can you tell the people the problem?
Here's the problem. Most of the time, we watch anime individually. You know, some of us with various people that we may or may not be sleeping with. We don't sleep with each other because that would screw up the sexual tension that's on screen
no,
here.
it would ruin the dynamic.
Excuse the perspectives.
Yeah. But we watch things individually, and we don't compare notes until we meet here with the cameras on. So that sometimes there can be a big happy surprise, like when Ben likes Pop Team Epic, you guys go woo,
Yeah.
and we want to capture that moment on film.
We don't fake it.
Yeah,
It's not,
no.
This is not faked for the goofs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we saw this film with a couple of friends, including Corinne, Megami 33, and what ended up happening was after the film was done, we waited for them. We wanted to make sure we said goodbye to them. But by the time they had gotten out there, we had already begun the conversation about the movie. And by the time we were out of the theater, after we had met up with Megami again, we had finished talking about the movie.
We should really just have live streamed this from our phones.
Kind
Oh,
of.
man.
Yeah.
Can
That
we
would've
do
been
that
just
more?
Like
That'd
from
be
the
fun.
theater lobby.
Yeah.
Just Periscope that shit?
That's what I was looking for in my head brain. Periscope.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Should have just periscoped FMK. Saved
That'd be
us the
fun. We
trouble.
should do that.
But instead, we're here studiously trying to avoid talking about Mary and the Witch's Flower by Studio Ponoc.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forget. What was the name of the studio? Studio
Ponoc? Potoc?
Ponoc.
P-O-T-O-C?
Yes,
Yes, Studio
P-O-N-O-C?
Ponoc, named by the Klingons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Studio Ponoc, which is based off the Croatian word Ponoc, which, right out the gate, they've already made a mistake.
Which was when we left the theater.
By the way, yeah, they had a bunch of interviews with the staff after the movie was done.
No, he's talking about you two leaving.
Yeah,
you didn't see the beginning the intro scene, which I saw, which was the best part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was buying some Junior Mints at the time.
You probably had a better time.
They were real good Junior Mints. That last one was stuck to the side and all smooshed real good, so you got to get in there with your
Ooh,
yeah.
that's the rewarding one. The ones you
Yep.
got to dig out.
Yep, you got to work for it. Just like we're working super hard not to actually talk about Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Yeah.
This is the story of Mary. This is the story all about how her life got turned upside down. And let me take a minute, just sit right there.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, and then we can put the in-card ad on and double our profits.
So, look, this film is all about a little girl who lives in England with her, I think, aunt and their maid and a gardener. The gardener, best character in the movie, just because of how
He had the one funny scene.
Yeah. Oh my God, he had the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
He's low-key pedo bear. He waits for them to come to him.
Oh.
He doesn't.
Ooh,
He
okay.
doesn't push it. He just
But the film is all about this little girl who grows up in England and then temporarily becomes a witch, but doesn't actually. That's the film.
So she finds out in the forest she's following a cat. Cat's real good. It's a good cat.
There's two cats.
Two cats.
They have some good visual stuff with the cat switching places, making her think that it's turning from black to gray. I
Oh
thought that
man,
was
could
cute.
be magic.
Could be, but it isn't. It's
but
two
it
cats.
And they lead her to the witch's flower.
It's a flower that only blooms every 7 years, and when you touch it, it blows goop all over your hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you crush one of the pods, they're like berries basically. They're these little flower berries, and if you crush one, it basically imbues you temporarily with magical powers.
Yeah.
Which
And-
on its own, neat concept. There's a lot of neat concepts in this film, but it is very clumsily told because these cats lead her to this plant and then immediately tell her, "Don't go near this
They
plant."
start hissing at it.
I don't know if the cats knew what they were doing, but it feels like they did.
They're sentient. Yes, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're. Oh man. By the way, I'm pretty sure every animal in this movie is sentient, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
It's magic.
No, I don't. No.
Everything's
You know how good magic is.
all magic all the time. So she finds this broom in the forest, by the way, as well.
Which the intro scene shows years ago a witch stealing the berries and this really cool scene.
One that looks a witch that looks suspiciously like Mary.
Yeah, looks a lot like her. She's got red hair. That's her big thing. She's got red hair. Blah, blah, blah.
She doesn't like her red hair. Folks make fun of her.
So in that opening scene, you see a witch take him from this big ass castle, falls to the ground and plants them and leaves her broom. So that's when Mary comes to that same scene, supposedly who knows how long later, and then gets the broom that we know already as the audience that this was the previous witch's broom.
I got to tell you, the scene where that scene where she actually gets to the earth and the
Time like speeds up.
Yeah,
it's
no,
awesome.
that scene is amazing. You did actually miss the coolest scene because when the berries hit the ground, it causes time to basically speed up.
Let the berries hit the ground. Let the berries hit the ground. Let the berries hit the ground.
Yeah, so it causes time to speed up basically, and it's cool because you see these eggs hatch into birds that then go into full birds. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And then nothing in the film is as cool as that.
Yep.
So she gets her berry juice all up in the wood of the staff, and look,
broom.
broom. Sorry, and look, we like to joke around here. Was that scene uncomfortable to anybody else?
Only because we're adults.
I mean,
like, look, as adults who have seen more than our fair share of terrible pornography, yeah, that scene is hilariously uncomfortable. But for the intended audience, it's not going to be.
It didn't bother me, so I thought it was fine.
well, regardless, she gets all this magic spooge all up on her hands.
It is magic spooge though. Like,
Yeah.
just
Hops, rides around on this big stick of wood for a while, just hopping around the forest, bouncing on the big wood, and then flies off into the sky because there's your first check mark on the big old checklist of Ghibli tropes.
But we had crossing the threshold earlier, going to Magic Town.
That's true.
Then we get even more.
Yeah, I mean that's Campbell. That goes all the way back.
That's true. Yeah, that is a little ancient.
But
it basically takes. Oh, and by the way, we should also establish that there's a boy in this story named Peter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
sort of.
there.
Yeah.
he is the love interest / deuteragonist of every Ghibli movie. He is bland enough and inoffensive enough that you don't dislike him, but he never ever upstages the young female lead in any way.
Yeah. He also owns the two cats, Gib and Tib, which adorable little names for cats. I love it. Like
Yeah,
the cats are the best part of the film because they always have personality when they're on screen. They're cute, but then the humans show up and.
Yeah, and they managed to restrain themselves from naming Tib Lee.
Yeah, I was Studio Ghibli's renowned in
Uh,
Korea.
Yep.
Gib and Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it's real good. Flies off into the sky and winds up on this floating island in the sky where she meets this
Secret of
squirrel?
Nim character, Flanagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, Flanagan, best character besides the gardener.
I don't know why you say that.
Yeah.
Because I will go into why.
Okay.
You were going to say something?
I mean, he's this talking squirrely guy
Who
I don't even
shows
know
up
what he's
and
supposed
says,
to be.
"Take care of your broom," and then leaves, and that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we watched the dub, by the way. That is
yeah.
Oh yeah, and I actually think it was better for that actually. 'Cause it's an English setting, it's
Yeah.
very rustic, ye olden stuff. You get quality accents.
Yeah, and this being like Disney subsidiary, they could actually afford real British voiceover. Like all these actors are British actors.
Yeah, it would have sucked real bad to hear somebody do some kind of fake bullshit Scrooge McDuck Scottish accent for this. I don't know who would do that, but if they do, they're a terrible person.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, that's what Flanagan sounds like.
Yeah, that's him.
Only they're playing it totally straight.
But that's his actual voice. That's actually just the actor.
Is it?
Yeah. I had to look that up.
Well, I hope he doesn't mind me laughing at him.
I mean, at least I believe that is because one of the other roles I looked him up in, he did the exact same thing. He might just do that. That might
You
just
have
be
a
something.
spot on, man.
But yeah, so I don't know. I thought Flanagan was probably the best character in the entire thing, if by virtue of the fact that every time he was on screen, they just went crazy with his animation. He moves around. He has these cool, he's visually very interesting. But yeah, no, he's kind of the flip side of that is he's also sort of a non-character. He has no importance to the story other than take care of your broom. Here's your broom. Let me teach you how to ride a broom. That's it. That's the entire character, which sucks because again, he's also the best animated and the neatest looking.
So Mary, pressing forward, finds herself in this Hogwarts-esque magical school.
Yep.
I don't know where the students come from. There's always a bunch of students around, except when it's seemingly deserted.
So we show up in this courtyard. First, Flanagan goes over the rules. He goes over very important rules for Hogwarts. Rule number 1, any trespassers will be transformed.
Yep, that's a Chekhov's gun that never goes off.
And that's it.
yeah. FYI. Yeah, they set that up in the first act.
And the whole time you're seeing like animals and shit. I'm like, okay, so obviously trespassers were turned into like these crazy magic creatures. Nope.
Oh, wait a second. I just got it. No, them getting transformed, they did set that up. It's just not the way we thought. No, remember? They put them in that room. I'm pretty sure they were going to do more transformation experiments on them. I think that's what they meant.
Yeah, but they never actually do it, though.
Oh, yeah, they never actually succeed or accomplish. So it's like, okay.
It's even a non-threat. It's not threatened that that's going to happen either.
Yeah. I guess we're supposed to kind of assume that might happen. Then again, it does technically happen to Peter.
He wasn't a trespasser, though. They kidnapped him.
Yeah, they kidnapped his ass. So,
but
it's a bad setup, and he only goes over the one rule, which makes it worse.
Yeah, there's like 6, and it's like, oh man, we're going to Hogwarts. Like I wasn't expecting this movie to turn into Harry Potter. Cool, let's go over magic rules. No.
Yeah, just the one, and again, it doesn't actually get fulfilled.
Yeah. So Mary's getting shown around this place. They assume she's a new student based on nothing, but she's got all this magic spooge up in her hands, so she's doing all kinds of dope magic that would usually be way above her level.
Yeah.
And everybody's freaking out like, oh my God, she's the greatest magical prodigy of all time. You're going to become the most, hey, you want to be student council president? Hey, you want to be, you know what? You're headmaster now. Wear my headmaster's hat. And she's just strutting her stuff like, hey, apparently I'm real good at magic. Awesome. Sure, this will be my life now. I'm into it. Being shown around, by the way, by just the witch from Spirited Away.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That is 100% all this character is.
Yeah, she's just Yubaba.
Only not like totally repulsive. Like we're led to believe that outside of her extracurricular transforming activities, she's actually a decent teacher. Like we're supposed to assume that she's running the school well enough, and but yeah. She's still just the witch from the Howl's Moving Castle.
You'll hear a lot of the word assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to assume a lot of things because the film does not spend nearly enough time with any of its premise. We get introduced to this college. We are led through multiple classrooms, the lunchroom, the gym.
It's straight out of like Sorcerer's Stone. It is exactly what that is.
Yeah, and...
Or Philosopher's Stone for intellectuals.
Yes. Sorry. And it's aggravating because there are so many parts during that scene where I was like, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But nothing's done with any of it. Like the closest thing we get is they take her to one of the most advanced classrooms, invisibility. Mm-hmm. Then she shows off her ultimate power because she's using the witch's flower, which apparently just kind of makes you a master at magic. But then at the end of it, again, we don't get to see any more of the school, really. So there's a part of me that just wonders, why even have this whole setup? Like, why even introduce the school if the rest of the movie is not going to really have anything to do with the school?
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of middle there that's just... So we watched this movie 4 days ago. We were in the theater. I can't take notes in the theater. I usually take copious notes so that I have a decent plot synopsis for even the most bullshit of stuff that we watch.
Luckily, going back over it, I have a Rolodex in my head right now of what happened next, like for each scene. So if any questions, I probably have you covered.
What happened next? Because I remember that stuff we just said, and
she
I
goes
remember
back home.
Yeah. Well, before she goes back home, she goes in.
Oh yeah, she gets the book.
Yeah, she gets the book because of course, the headmaster brings her upstairs. Hey, let me find you these submission forms. By the way, submission forms are said like 10 times in this scene because she can't find them, and it's obnoxious. So as she's looking for them, she's like, yes, go ahead, look around. Wander around all these incredibly dangerous magical artifacts, little girl. And so she goes upstairs, and she sees the witch's flower on a painting. And for some reason, she's compelled to touch it. I don't know why. So she touches it, opens up, and here's a book of master spells. So she just takes the book, and then when the headmaster comes in, she freaks out for some reason, and then hides the book in her bag, and then never gives it back.
and never really seems to do anything with it, as I recall.
Well, I know she does. Remember, because
I mean, she does, but she's already got Magic Spooge making her dope at magic. Why does she need this additional magical artifact to make her even doper?
She uses it twice, and to get it's the get out of jail card. That's it.
And yeah, and to be fair, the magic that she does is always in junction with something else. Like when she does the invisibility thing, it's because she has that orb. When she does the negate magic spell, it's with the book. It only allows her to use magic to its fullest extent, but she still needs like the building blocks of magic.
But why, though? She's already got the Magic Spooge. That is as much plot as I need to explain she's suddenly real good at magic.
Hey, no, look, I love incantations. I love spells. Don't take that good part of this film away from me.
Wow, that was the good part?
Okay. The possibly good parts. I don't think this film would have been... Okay, I do think this film could have been made better if they had taken some things away, but only the things that were ultimately never going to go anywhere. At least she uses the book to actually do some stuff.
So it would have been better if it was 5 minutes long.
As a short, maybe this would have been better because it wouldn't have dragged out as long as it did. Because so she goes home with the book, and then
Can we just say that she goes home? So
Oh.
you're at Hogwarts, and then she goes home. So, like, any idea that we're going to have, like, a fun romp at magic school is now, like, why the fuck were we shown classes?
well, again, even if she'd stay there, nothing probably would have changed because ultimately,
Could have been in a magic dorm. Could have actually gone with the plot thread of being magic school.
well, that's not they didn't want to wholesale rip off Harry Potter, I guess. Even
no,
though
they
that
wanted
probably
to-
No,
They
they
want-
wanted to rip off 10 other things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by the way, so if you might have noticed, we've compared this to a lot of other Ghibli films. This is literally every Ghibli film you have ever seen.
Bitch rides a deer because they had to check off Princess Mononoke from things we've cribbed from.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, you're right.
Yeah.
She gets a Yakul.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so in the so Castle in the Sky. Hogwarts in the Sky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle. Little flame demons that talk to her, and just like a billion other visual cues that they just took from that movie.
Just the whole English shit. You see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Those robot dudes from Castle in the Sky, they're up in the mix.
The robot
Yep.
dudes are basically a combination of those things and Earthbound's giant tall dudes. I can't remember.
Starman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiki's delivery service in
Yep.
like every other way. Which is why the first thing that made me hesitant. I'm like, oh, you're doing another little girl witch film? I thought you were trying to not be just
Remember,
be
this
Ghibli.
isn't. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Clearly, they are not trying to not just be Ghibli.
No, it's because it's run by the animator who worked on a lot of those films, and he is very scared, it looks like, to dwell from what he knows.
The director worked on my two least favorite Ghibli films, or at least two
Spirited
of my-
Away?
No,
Yes, he did.
the director?
Didn't he?
No.
Okay, never
No, the director worked on The Secret Life of Arrietty.
Oh, but I mean, he was an animator.
Oh, yeah.
That's
he
what
was
I mean. He animated those.
Oh, did he animate those?
Yes, he was an animator for
Oh.
those films.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, he's taking shit that he knows how to animate.
Yeah.
That's the best part of this, is scenes animated are just recreated from shit that you've already seen.
Yeah, and oh man, this cribs a billion different things from Spirited Away.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And look,
But yeah, he made Arrietty, and that's...
it's impossible. Like, we could talk about all the plot of this film, but I'm not necessarily sure we should or need to, because at the end of the day, the plot is not what you would want to even watch this film for in the first place. Let me just be completely honest with you, because it ultimately is unfulfilling and so boilerplate.
So real quick plot overview though. The evil witch lady and her doctor sidekick, who we haven't really mentioned, because
Oh yeah, Dr. D.
there's no reason for there to be two of them. They are the same character.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, Dr. D's, his actor was having so much stupid fun with that part. Like, that part, I was actually like, I can't remember the name of the actor, but he was just, like, having a lot of fun with this crazy evil doctor dude.
I guess. But yeah, they figure out that Mary's a fraud. They want to get their hands on this witch's flower because it will allow them to do the ultimate human transformation and make their students the ultimate wizards so they can change the world.
Altruistic.
They don't never really say what they want to change the world into, what their purpose for seeking this ultimate magic power is. Doesn't matter. It's real important that they not get it for some reason, I guess. So they kidnap Peter and decide to pump him full of magic spooge so he can become whatever they're trying to become, I guess. Mary goes to save him. Nobody left behind except for the broomstick.
Yep. Magic's bad. We don't need it.
Yeah, fuck magic. I kept expecting, so Mary's great aunt that she's living with studied at this school. She was a witch, and she came by it honest, not by having all this magic spooge pumped into her. She learned it the hard way. I kept on expecting Mary to discover that the true magic is inside, and you don't need to use magic steroids and be a magic juicer, magic berry bonds. You can believe in yourself, and that's the real magic. No, it turns out that the real magic is that magic is bullshit. Don't use magic.
Yeah, the big line in this film. So after they pump Peter full of magic spooge, that is a line that just came out of my mouth, they basically fly away after they save him and undo the magic that had encompassed Peter. She yells out, "We don't need magic," which, okay, honestly, I'm okay with that idea. No, we don't need magic. We're good on our own.
In that moment, she literally needs magic to not fall down out of the sky and die.
Because she's on the broom that is clearly running on magic.
Yep.
And by the way, after that scene, there's a scene with her flying away on the broom after she has exhausted her magic.
How does she land?
Yeah, her magic refractory period is just not even...
I know. For anybody who is not... Here's the thing. If you haven't seen the film and you're still curious, go ahead and see it. It's a beautiful film. It's gorgeous. And if you've never seen a Ghibli film, you might actually enjoy this. But if you haven't seen the film and are expecting a full breakdown of the plot synopsis...
Here's the thing. If we want to move on to whether we're recommending this film, if you have never seen a Ghibli movie, there are 3 that I would recommend as your intro before this one.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to sit here and say, if you've never seen one before and you haven't seen this a million times, then go see it. No, actually don't. If you have seen all the Ghibli films and you still want more, hey, it's still real pretty.
Yeah, actually, that is also a good point. I should have led with, if you haven't seen any Ghibli films, see those. They're better.
Yeah.
They're all better. Every single one of them is probably better except for Tales of Earthsea.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you will every other Ghibli film is better.
I'd put this on par with Ponyo.
I've never seen Ponyo.
It's fine.
I hear it's polarizing for a lot of people.
Well, okay, that Miyazaki said that he'd wanted to do a literal just children's film.
And that's the thing. This is 4, 5 to 7 years old. This plot is at best serviceable for that demographic. You're not going to get anything if you're above that.
And which is the sad part, because Ghibli films are so good at being family films. They're so good at being films for kids and adults. You can sit down with your kid and they're going to be taken in by the magic, and you're going to be taken in by the mature storytelling. That's not here. That's not on display here. There's no, if there is a symbolism to be taken away from this, I'm not quite sure what it is.
It's that they try to pull this magic as analogous to industrialism. That's what it is. They're saving the animals from the clutches of manipulation by magic people.
But that's so
dumb.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Because it's dumb.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But that's the closest thing I could glean from it, is there's this big sequence with saving the animals, let the animals be free, and then it amounts to nothing.
I think this is going to be a polarizing review too, because I've heard a lot of people I've heard a lot of people bag on this film, but I've heard a lot of people praise it too. I don't know. It's just every Ghibli film I've ever seen Frankensteined into a pretty but ultimately pointless film.
Yep. Yeah, it's clumsy. That's the criticism that I had for Howl's Moving Castle 50 years ago now, and that was a masterpiece of originality compared to this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Howl's Moving Castle was thematically clumsy, but it was trying to do something.
Yeah.
This just suffers from a lack of ambition more than anything else.
Yeah, it feels like this is just inspirations for things I enjoy, things I would like animating. Okay, let's go down the list, and we'll just make them all work, because who cares? This is for children.
Yeah, if I can come away from this movie with any hope, it is that for Studio Ponoc Studio Pinocchio, that this was, okay, this is our first picture, let's do the safe one, and then move on to taking some risks. Like, would I have preferred that they skipped straight to the risks? Yes, but if this is what they felt like they had to do before getting to... I just hope that they have something more ambitious in mind for their second outing.
I'll watch it. Like I'll watch the next Studio Ponoc film because I agree with you. I understand if this was their safe, just let's play to something that everyone's familiar with. But yeah, I really, really hope the next one's better. Otherwise, I think Studio Ponoc might be a wash.
I thought this was like their third film.
Oh no.
Oh.
This is their first film as like remember.
Oh, as their own. Okay,
Yeah.
Now I get you. I know they were like Ghibli B team, and I guess this is them officially separated.
They were
I've
basically.
got here our cameraman's phone where he
yes.
periodically hands me facts he thinks might become relevant. And here it says, the only other thing the studio has made was a 15-minute commercial for the West Japan Railway Company.
I've
Oh.
seen that actually. That was pretty. That was nice.
Pretty is the one positive adjective I would describe.
Yeah. You know what? I would have been less bored by 15 minutes of pretty than by
An hour
however
and
long we
45
got.
minutes
Yeah.
of Also-
And even then, it's real pretty. It sucks being compared to this bar, but compared to the best Ghibli has done, it's not as pretty as that.
yeah. Also that.
The seams showed sometimes.
Also, they and not that it's necessarily that bad of a thing, but this is the most CG you'll ever see. In
A lot of
Ghibli
CG
film.
hands.
Yeah.
But that being said, at the end of the day, I cannot recommend this film to anybody because if you haven't seen Ghibli films, see Ghibli films,
Yep.
and if you've seen all the Ghibli films, you've seen this film. So don't bother.
Yeah. I mean, there is a person out there, I know for a fact, because I met them and talked to them about this. There is a person out there who has seen every Studio Ghibli film, and their appetite for that is so high that they still want more. If you're that person, I don't know why you're watching this, because you've already watched this film.
Yeah. also that.
That person does exist, but that's a real narrow criteria. For everyone else, like, if you haven't seen a Ghibli movie, see a Ghibli movie. If you want to see this with young kids, like if you want a well-animated kids movie to see in the theater, oops, this was one night only. It's already out of the theaters. and if you're wanting something to watch on home video, again, there's better stuff to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't do it gladly, as hard as I've been bagging on this, but I gotta knife it. Sorry.
Yeah. I respect these animators. I respect these storytellers. Like, I want it to be said, like, flat out. These are still ex-Ghibli people. That's still, like, way better than a lot of the industry. But that being said, yeah, this isn't a movie. Again, I knife things I can't recommend, and I just can't recommend this to basically anyone.
This is the second time in my entire life I've fallen asleep in the movie theater. The only other time was Elf. I hated this. I like the worst sin you can commit with anything with entertainment is boring my ass to tears. I was struggling to stay awake, and that's the worst thing for me. I don't care how pretty it is. It's got to be engaging, and it wasn't.
I take no joy in it, but that, like, I hate that this got a triple knife, but you stack that up against, well, Ben, do you want to be the one eggplant? No, I kind of don't, because that wouldn't be honest.
No, I don't. We all are saying the same things.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything getting around that. I feel like if you are a big anime fan and you're watching this, you already have either seen it or you know what to expect, and just save yourself the time. If you haven't seen any other Ghibli movie, watch that instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you haven't watched Kiki's for some reason, do that.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen Kiki's Delivery Service, but want to see magic from Ghibli, oh my God! I mean, it doesn't go too whole hog into it, but it's so charming.
Yeah.
And other useful fact that's on this phone, apparently it is a soft G aspirated. It should be Ghibli. Ghibli. All right. Good night, folks.